Hi, I'm Karen. I'm a UX researcher with Facebook Gaming.
And I'm Clara. I'm a product manager with Facebook Gaming, supporting gaming video and community products. We're here to talk about something very deeply meaningful for us and the teams at Facebook Gaming who have worked on this, and that's empowering inclusive gaming communities. We know creators come to Facebook to build positive and supportive communities around the games they love. And while Facebook's central community standards protect against the most egregious harms like hate speech and terrorism, sometimes all it takes is one person being rude, mean, or simply disruptive to ruin a conversation for everyone. Gaming creators are tone setters, so that's why in January we released a toolkit to help them set guidelines for positive conversations in their communities. We're excited to share some of the frameworks, tools, and rules that we developed in partnership with the Fair Play Alliance, a leader in inclusion in the gaming industry, that we think really evolve how a lot of us have been thinking about moderating toxic or disruptive content. We'll talk through the research and frameworks that have informed the thinking here, the approach we took to provide a new set of tools to help game streamers foster inclusive communities on Facebook Gaming, our partnership with the Fair Play Alliance in developing new rules for gaming video communities, and finally, where we see the industry going next. Creating inclusive experiences supports our developers as well by building strong communities around their games. Having spaces for vibrant, approachable, and inclusive gaming experiences on Facebook is critical to building a sustainable games business.
We've heard from many of our game streamers that they find the atmosphere and conversations on Facebook Gaming to be generally positive and welcoming. But it's the internet, and toxic behavior is all too common. So our initial approach to the research was to ask the question, how can we do more to support the welcoming aspects while addressing toxicity? In our research, we found that people want product features that orient on shutting down bad behavior rather than only promoting good. When people can see that there are clear rules and that those rules are being enforced, that's the most important piece for helping them feel welcome and comfortable fully engaging. And we can understand why. A survey run by the Anti-Defamation League indicated that 74% of adults have been harassed in some form while gaming online. We've also heard from streamers that when there is toxicity, it significantly impacts their ability to enjoy streaming, and it impedes on their ability to have fun and to be authentic. Toxic behaviors include both those that are directly tied to safety issues, for example, doxing, and those that are more directly linked to keeping the community from feeling welcoming and inviting. For example, chat spamming. So what do people want us to do to address this? We've learned a few key themes in our research with our community, our streamers and our watchers. We hear that welcoming and inclusive and diverse are important aspects to most everyone in our streaming community, even those who might be considered the majority. People want us to keep Facebook Gaming a welcoming and inclusive place, and that's what this is all about. Customization is key. There's no single right kind of gaming community. People want tools that allow for cultural differences and based on the different kinds of communities and environments they want to build. People also want to know that there are rules and that they are being enforced. We need to ensure that the rules feel authentic for gaming communities. If we get the rules right, there's an opportunity to educate and influence changes in behavior by the people who may publish disruptive comments.
Great. So this research really led to three key frameworks that we kept in mind throughout our efforts in this space. The first is that at a baseline, people need to see that there are rules for their community and that these rules are being enforced in order to feel trust that this is a community where they can engage authentically. If someone doesn't see rules, how do they know the norms of the community? If there is content that violates the rules and there is no way to report it, or they do and nothing happens, then what is the meaning of the rules? So this spans from norm setting at a platform level, for example, Facebook's community standards and centralized enforcement, all the way to the rules of individual groups or communities. Second is this idea that for a majority of people who are publishing toxic or disruptive comments, there's actually an opportunity to educate them on the norms of the community and what will happen when they break those norms that may lead to behavior changes. Let's say my friends and I trash talk while we play, and we really enjoy it. Then I go to a stream and start trash talking, and I'm banned from commenting. There may have been an opportunity to let me know that that's actually not what that streamer's community is all about, or at least to let me know that an action will be taken if I do decide to go against the norms of that community. Finally, and this is a big one, There is a big difference between enforcement and tooling that promote safety in gaming communities and those that promote inclusion. Safety would include things like terrorism, hate speech, and coordinating harm. When we're talking about promoting welcoming gaming communities, we're really talking more about behaviors that can be disruptive, like making fun of someone for being a newer player or for playing a type of game that isn't seen as cool. Safety tends to lend itself better to centralized enforcement across all of the communities on a given platform. For example, at Facebook, the community standards violations are centrally enforced across the platform. On the other hand, since promoting inclusive spaces can be more subjective, Facebook and the industry to date have leaned towards providing tooling for community moderators to be able to enforce. So it's with all of this in mind that in January, we introduced new tools to help gaming creators foster inclusive environments and developed a set of optional rules that streamers can adopt in partnership with the Fair Play Alliance, which we think really evolved the basic moderation tools that we already offered. Creators can select from this list of gaming-specific rules we developed for their community before they go live. They can also add a custom description about their streams to help set expectations about the type of conversation they want to foster. This added level of transparency is really designed to help creators educate their audience and inform well-intentioned fans who may have inadvertently broken a rule. We also added several other features and a new moderation dashboard, all designed to really help streamers craft the types of spaces they want. We know gaming has changed over time, and so have the people who play, so it's important for us to support creators and their moderators by helping set guidelines for positive conversations. This toolkit is one step Facebook gaming is taking in this space, and there's more to come.
So now I'm going to be sharing our process for developing the rules and talk about a few of the rules we ended up including in our toolkit. We worked with the Fair Play Alliance, a coalition of gaming companies encouraging healthy communities in online gaming. We partnered directly with their executive steering committee to establish rules creators and moderators can use to set guidelines and help avoid disruptive comments. The Fair Play Alliance worked with us to develop a holistic approach, which included considering 4 aspects of the experience. We looked at the kinds of disruptive behaviors happening in gaming. In some cases, that went beyond toxicity and included overall disruptive behavior like irrelevant or distracting comments. We then looked at situations when people might break rules and whether it was intentional or not. For example, if someone used language that was considered appropriate in one community and not in another. We also considered who was being impacted by different types of disruptive behavior. Was it streamers, people participating in the chats, people observing, or everyone? And lastly, we looked at the kinds of people who might be doing the disruptive behavior and how we could structure rules to speak directly to them and their actions. Taking these 4 dimensions into consideration, we developed our set of rules. Let's take a look at the rule respect boundaries, for example. You might be surprised to hear that many women are flooded with messages when they participate in chat. Or if you've experienced this, it might not be surprising at all. The spirit of the respect boundaries rule is to let streamers clarify that they're fostering a community where personal advances are unwanted, if they choose to adopt that rule. Now let's consider another rule, be accepting. We know that it's common for people to experience negativity based on who they are, say a woman or a minority, and that this can impact their willingness to participate. We wanted a rule that would make it clear that in this community, they needed to be accepting of everyone. So we have the option for streamers to select be accepting. We know people form communities over a shared love of gaming, but we know some groups of people, like women, can more frequently be targets of negative, hurtful stereotypes. Rules like be accepting and respect boundaries can help maintain a positive environment for everyone, regardless of race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender identity, or ability. Similarly, don't criticize can help newer players feel welcome. The rules will promote inclusion and respect to help people feel safer joining and participating.
Great. So looking forward to what's next for the industry, we anticipate that as Facebook and many other gaming community platforms are already developing robust central enforcement to support basic safety and basic tooling for moderators to promote the more subjective norms of their communities, we will see moderation tooling becoming more and more robust. Specifically, we think there are some opportunities with machine learning that could aid with moderation. The real power is when we can break away from moderating specific keywords or types of content, like links, and assist in moderating more subjective things. And our work doesn't end here. At Facebook, we have a special role to play in helping to make gaming communities more approachable and more accessible. We're also excited to continue partnering with the Fair Play Alliance to develop additional features and ensure creators and fans alike can find safe and inclusive communities on Facebook gaming.